Okay, welcome to this episode. So I'm going to be installing the passenger side CV axle here. Not really that hard. Things you got to watch out for. I ordered this one off Amazon. I already sent one back because the you can see the box here was smashed up again. They're pretty rough these days. But the first one we sent back, the dust seal was all dented. So make sure you check these things when you get them if you're ordering by mail. One thing you do watch for is when we do pull it, oil does come out of the. I don't drain the transmission oil fluid. Pretty much will show you how to get away without losing too much oil. Pretty much just jacking the car on a bit more on an angle, let less come out. But yeah, we'll get into it. We'll rip the wheel off and then we'll get into it. We don't need to show you how to take a wheel off. Hopefully if you fail at that point, you probably shouldn't be trying to do your own axle. So yeah, we'll get the wheel off and then we'll get into it. Show you what you actually have to take off to get your axle in. Okay, so things we're going to have to take off first will be the caliper, just top bolt, lower bolt. I believe they're 19mm. Get that off, and the rotor will pretty much fall off anyway, so we'll just take that off. Then we're going to have to take the two shock bolts to hold this arm to the actual shock. We'll take these off, and then that'll let it drop down, and that'll pretty much let us swing it around. You won't have to take this one off or anything else. You should be able to drop it down, it'll swing around. And there are two 10mm bolts holding the bearing plate in, so we have to take those off, but we'll get this off first, and then we'll get to that plate, and then the thing we'll just have to kind of wiggle it and get her out. But like I say, I'll probably jack it a little higher just to put the oil to one side on the transmission, and then it's pretty much a quick change just to get the shaft back in there, plug the hole. Usually it slides in there. Ease her up. Yeah, so the other shaft I did last week, and you do tap that one in just with a rubber mallet. We'll just see how this one goes. It should just sit, because it can't go any further. The bearing will sit inside the bearing housing back in there. So yeah, get this off, get the nut off, and then we'll and these off, and then we'll start looking at getting those two 10mm off. Okay, good way to get these off. Let's put a 19 on there, and then just give her a bit of a tap with the rubber mallet just to get those started. I guess I already had this off last week, so they're a little loose, but usually they are loose. You just take them off by hand. Okay, impact driver on here and get this nut off. We take the cotter pin out, and we'll take that guy out over there, and we'll just get some off. Okay, so these are 21mm. See if I can both sides are 21mm. They are lock nuts, so you can kind of hopefully start them before the other side starts spinning, and then just if it does start spinning, you can check your other ring spanner on. So yeah, shows you it sits up there pretty much by itself. If they're a little stuck, you just leave the nut on, just give them a little tap on the end. Kind of loosen that up a bit. So now, next we're gonna use a punch. I might be a little big, but yeah, something decent size on the end, because we're not using the shaft again. Just put it on there, give it a few taps for you to start. Oh. Okay, probably not usually that loose, but that's because we took it off last week to get these wheel bearings. And there you go. So you don't need to loosen any other suspension things there. Just take that off. There's your shaft. So next we need to take off those 10 mils. And if you can see them, point them in. There's one just there, and the other one is just up top there. You can see it. Yeah, just there and just there. So we'll get those off. Kind of a shitty spot, but get in there and get them loose. So we got that bearing retainer plate off. They were actually 13 mil bolts. Oh, nuts, nuts. Guess they're bolts. Now, just try and give that a pull. Actually, I'll get my other. I actually jacked it up quite a bit. Get a look at the angle. Just to try and keep the transmission fluid to one side. Gotta get my other axle here. Okay, we got the other one set out there, right where we want to go in. We've got the nut off already. So just be careful of this. They seem really easy to dent and deform. So okay, it's your dust seal, but you don't want to wreck. So yeah, we'll just see if we can just give this a few pulls and see if it'll pop off. Hopefully we've got enough an angle that not much oil is going to come out, or none at all. And see if we can get this other one in. Okay, so this thing was super stuck, that bearing's not coming out. So I ended up just taking the whole mount off. So these actually come off really easy with the socket, these three. This is facing, say, the back of the car. This is bolted to the engine. This one I had to use, these are all 16 mil. And so in this last one, we just used a 16 mil ring spanner wrench to get it off. And then you just got to wiggle around. It's got two little lock-in pins in here. You get it out and it comes off. Because I don't have a pulling tool or any of that crap. So this is the way we're going to do it. Just got it sitting in the vise, just on both sides. I'm just going to tap it. And this thing can fall. Make sure you got nothing damage underneath. I'm just going to tap it. Hopefully it comes out. Oh man, success. That thing did not want to come out. It was not going to come out trying to knock it out in the car. So I'd highly recommend that. That is really easy to take out. So just mount it from the vehicle. This one needs the ring spanner, but you can see in there the bearing was rusted, even though this is aluminum. So we'll clean that up. can get the other one in. Oh. Okay, the mount's back in. I did put a bit of thread lock on those bolts when I put them back in. They go back in fairly easy because you've got the axle in the way now. So let's try and get our new axle in. We've got to tilt it enough that the fluid isn't coming down the tranny. So make sure we don't damage the new seal. It's actually seated in there nicely. One thing you want to do, actually forgot, is put your copper paste on or spray. You got there just on the spline on the outside, not on the one that goes into the transmission. Don't need anything on that, but on this end just a bit. All our sensors out of the way. Okay. Let's get one nut through, bolt and nut through there. Get those lined back up. We'll put the bottom one in as well. Yeah, that was quite the mission, a lot more than I thought, but you filter through and work out these problems as you go. You get there in the end. We'll just give it a little tap. Just a little tap on the end with the, just to make sure it's seated. Can't go any further than the bearing goes in there anyway. Now it's cleaned up, it actually sits in there real easy stuff. So I think I'll pass again. We've got to put the bearing plate, locking plate back in. So we'll grab that, put that in, and then we'll start tightening up all the things around here, put it all back together. Okay, everything's set in, then we got our bearing plate back on. Let's put a little bit of thread lock glue on there again, and just give everything, and just as you handle, they weren't on very tight. They're probably only like 6 pounds if you're going to torque them. Got our sensor in as well, probably only 6 pounds for that. We'll just tighten up our bolt nut here on the shock. This one's a lock nut, I believe, so you tighten it up just fairly tight, and I think if you want to torque those down, I think there's something like 62 pounds per square foot. Get those tightened up, and then we'll get these, our caliper or our rotor back on, and our caliper, and then we'll put the nut back on. Tighten that up to 92 pounds per square foot. No. Okay. I'll tighten this up to 92. There you go. Cool, and that'll lock it up. And then you just, so yeah, 92 pounds per feet, and then just going to line this up so you can put the cotter pin through. Yeah. How much more? There you go. And you're just going to split that. the torque specs vary a little bit on there, but 92 should be good. I don't think you want to go too much more. Let's get that around there. Bring the other one around too if you want there. Keeps everything nice and tight. Okay, let's go through, make sure we've done everything. 2 nuts on the bearing plate, shock nuts and bolts, sensors back in, calipers on. Okay, it's just left for the wheel to put on, and then we're done. But that was it. A little bit harder than I thought, but didn't expect the bearing to be fused in there, but that was really stuck. So I don't think you would have got that out with a pulling tool. It was easy just to undo the mount and put it in the vise and give it a good smack. That really needed a lot of effort to get that out. So yeah, well, I hope that helps. Like, subscribe, want to see more, and we will catch you later.